Have you ever stopped to help a stranger in need? It's a thought-provoking question, isn't it? We've all been there, haven't we? Walking down the street, seeing someone in distress and grappling with the decision to step in or to keep moving. It's a moral crossroads we encounter more often than we might admit. But what if I told you there's a timeless tale that might just tip the scales? Let's explore a tale that might change the way we perceive kindness to strangers. Imagine a dusty, dangerous road in ancient times. Picture a path that winds its way over rocky terrain, under the relentless Middle Eastern sun. This is the road from Jerusalem to Jericho, a notorious highway of the ancient world. This road was not for the faint of heart. It was a treacherous 68 kilometers of unpredictable wilderness, a haven for bandits and thieves who lay in wait for unsuspecting travelers. The rugged landscape, dotted with caves and cliffs, provided the perfect hideout for these marauders, making the journey an exercise in courage and caution. The road was a lifeline, connecting the holy city of Jerusalem with the thriving trade hub of Jericho. It was a path of necessity for many, merchants, priests, and common folk alike. Despite its dangers, it was a road well traveled, a testament to the human spirit's resilience and determination. Now, imagine the scorching sun overhead, casting long shadows as it begins its descent. The air is dry, carrying the scent of dust and distant vegetation. The silence is occasionally broken by the distant cry of a bird or the rustling of small creatures in the underbrush. The solitude, the desolation, it's almost palpable. This is the stage upon which our tale unfolds, a tale of humanity and compassion, set against the backdrop of danger and adversity. On this perilous path, our story begins. A man, journeying alone, falls into the hands of robbers. This is not a tale of some far-off land or ancient times, but a story that could be set on any lonely road, anywhere in the world. Picture a lone traveler, navigating his path with optimism, unaware of the lurking danger. Suddenly, out of the shadows, robbers appear. They swiftly descend upon him, their intentions clear and cruel. They attack the unsuspecting man, their greed overpowering any sliver of humanity within them. Stripped of his belongings, his dignity, his sense of security, the traveler is left in a state of shock. His world, just moments ago filled with the sights and sounds of his journey, now reduces to a painful existence. Beaten and battered, he is left half dead on the deserted road, his cries echoing into the void. Left alone and wounded, he lay in desperate need of aid. His journey, full of promise, now hangs in the balance as he lies at the mercy of the next passerby. Two figures appear on the horizon. Amid the desolate landscape, they stand out, symbols of authority, of respect, of piety. One is a priest, his robes billowing in the wind, the other a Levite, his stern countenance etched with wisdom. The beaten man lying on the road sees them, and hope ignites in his heart. Surely they of all people would help him. Yet as they approach, they do not hasten their steps. There's no rush of concern, no urgency to aid a fellow human in distress. The priest, a man ordained to serve and comfort, a beacon of compassion and morality, merely glances at the injured man. His eyes, however, hold no sympathy, only a cold indifference. He crosses to the other side of the road, distancing himself from the sight that mars his path. The Levite follows suit. A man of the temple, his life devoted to the teachings of love and kindness, chooses not to act upon them. He too looks upon the injured man, his gaze lingering for a moment longer than the priest's. But then, he too moves to the other side, his indifference echoing in the empty expanse. The injured man watches them disappear into the distance, their silhouettes shrinking till they're mere specks on the horizon. His hope crumbles, replaced by a profound sense of abandonment. These were men of God, men who preached love for all, who were supposed to embody the virtues they preached. Yet when confronted with a test of their principles, they chose comfort over compassion, convenience over kindness. Their actions, or rather their inactions, are a stark reminder of the chasm that often exists between what is preached and what is practiced. Their indifference, a chilling testament to the ease with which humanity can be overlooked when it becomes inconvenient. They had the power to change the narrative, to lend a helping hand, to make a difference. Yet, in his hour of need, they chose to look away. Just as hope seems lost, a Samaritan approaches. Now this Samaritan is not just anyone. In those times there was a great divide, a societal chasm between the Jews and the Samaritans. Yet this man, this Samaritan, chose to cross that divide, to break the norm, and step into the story. He sees the wounded man lying there on the dusty road, and unlike the previous passers-by, he doesn't just look away. He doesn't ignore the sight or pretend he sees nothing. No, he chooses to see the man, to acknowledge his pain, his suffering. He chooses compassion over indifference. He goes over to the man, kneels down beside him, and starts tending to his wounds. He pours oil and wine, traditional healing remedies of the time, onto the man's injuries. He bandages them up, showing a level of care and kindness that is, quite frankly, astounding. And he doesn't stop there. He lifts the man onto his own animal and takes him to an inn. He stays with him through the night, ensuring the man is comfortable, that he's safe. He even goes as far as to promise the innkeeper to cover any additional costs that may arise during the man's recovery. This Samaritan, who had every reason to just walk on by, to not get involved, becomes the unlikely hero of our tale. He shows us that kindness, compassion, and empathy can cross any divide, can break any societal norm. The Samaritan, an unlikely hero, saves the day. But what does this ancient tale teach us today? In the heart of this age-old parable, the story of the Good Samaritan, we find a timeless lesson that resonates even in our modern world. It's a lesson wrapped in an unassuming act of kindness, a lesson about empathy and compassion for our fellow humans, irrespective of who they are or where they come from. Imagine the scene once more: a man, beaten and left for dead, ignored by those who should have helped, saved by one who had every reason not to. The Good Samaritan, a stranger from a despised race, chose to look beyond societal norms, beyond prejudice and indifference. He saw not a stranger, but a fellow human in need. He acted not out of obligation but out of compassion. This narrative is more than just a story. It's a powerful reminder that kindness is not a currency to be traded among friends and acquaintances alone. It's a universal language meant to be shared freely with strangers, with those who may not look like us, talk like us, or even believe like us. The Good Samaritan teaches us that true kindness is not selective. It doesn't choose based on convenience or social expectations. It sees a need and responds. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and acting on it. About making a choice to be a beacon of hope in someone else's storm. So, next time you see a stranger in need, will you pass by on the other side?